Sweet home, no place like home. I'm a king at home, so baby feel at home.
Ufanimedio. So welcome to series 3 and episode 4 of Learn Ibibio with CKNaija. So in this episode we're going to be learning about possessive pronouns. Just before we get into possessive pronouns, there are two words that we're going to need to know and understand in this lesson, right? And the first of those two words is ami. So a high tone and a low tone, ami, and that is a demonstrative, meaning this. So for example, this car, this bed, this ruler, this pencil. Now this is a similar word to a different word we've learned before in series 3 and episode 1 for the subject pronoun for the first person singular, which is ami, right? Ami, two low tones. This is ami, right? Ami. The next word is ake. Now ake is a relative particle which can mean that, which, or where. It's quite a versatile word, but in the context of what we're learning today, you can think of it to mean that which is, right? That's what we're going to be learning today. Now, so let's get back to possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are actually formed from possessive adjectives, right? So if you remember from series 3 and episode 3, we learned the following possessive adjectives: mi, nyan, mfo, ndofo, amo. So looking at these possessive adjectives, we can see their similarity to our possessive pronouns. So the example sentence we're going to be using is this table is, right? This table is, right? And we're going to be using that sentence to learn the following possessive pronouns. So if we start with the first one, we can see this word that we just learned, which means, like I said, that which is. And then we have the possessive adjective, which is the same as here for the first person singular. Ake mi, which means mine. That which is mine. That which is mine. Or that which belongs to me, right? So the example sentence is Akbokoro ami ado ake mi. This table is mine. So going back to a previous episode, what we learned with possessive adjectives was that, unlike in English where they come before the noun they describe, in Ibibio, the possessive adjectives come after the noun. So in English we have the following sentence, or the following words: my house. So the adjective comes here and the noun comes here. In Ibibio this is different. So we have the word for house first, and then we have the word for my house. Ufo mi, my house. So in a similar vein, the demonstrative comes after the noun it describes. Abokoro is a word that means table. So this is this table. This table. Now if we go back to series 3 and episode 1, where we learned about subject pronouns, what we will find is that for the third person singular, i.e. he, she, or it, the word was anye, the subject pronoun, and the agreement for this was with a high tone, and we learned anye, a, ya, a, de, ufok. And ya, de, ufok, right? Now, since we're talking about this table, the table takes up the third person singular as in it, right? So it needs that agreement, that right? As we just saw here. So this A is this with the high tone. So this is the word for is. Abokoromi, this table is, but that needs to be in agreement with the actual noun, right? That needs to be in agreement with the noun. And so the appropriate agreement for this third person word is a. The prefix is here is a. So this table is that which is mine. Abokoro, ami, ado, ake, me. This table is that which is mine. Another thing about possessive pronouns in efik-ibibio is the fact that they can in most cases be amalgamated. So rather than saying these two words, what we can do is block out this bit, the ke, right, and then amalgamate these two words together, right? So we get rid of this and then we put this together. So you can either say abokoromi ado akemi, or you can say abokoromi ado ami. Now if we move on to the first person plural, right, what we can see is again that the possessive pronoun is made from the possessive adjective for the second person plural, sorry, for the first person plural, nyan, right? And so we have the same word here, nyan, ake nyan, that which is ours, right? That which is ours. Abokoromi ado ake nyan. Abokoromi ado ake nyan. And then you can also amalgamate, just like this, amalgamate these two words. So you get a nyan, right? So you keep this word, you keep this prefix, you bring it over, and you get anyan. Abokoromi ado ake nyan, or abokoromi ado anyan. This table is ours. Or this table is that which is ours, or this table is the one which is ours, right? Moving on to the second person singular. Now again, if we go back to the possessive adjective, you see that the word is mfo, right? Mfo. If we come back here to the second person singular, we see that word reappears here, right? That which is yours, singular. So abokoromi ado ake mfo, or abokoromi ado a mfo, amfo, amfo, right? High tone, low tone, a mfo, right? Moving on to the second person plural, we can see again here that the word for the possessive adjective is ndofo. Now if we come back to our possessive pronouns, we see that the word again makes a reappearance. Ake ndofo, that which is yours, plural. So we can either say abokoromi ado ake ndofo, or we can say abokoromi ado andofo, andofo, by amalgamating these two words together, blocking out this bit, and we get andofo, andofo. Moving on to the third person singular. And now if we go back to our possessive adjective, we see that the word was amo, amo, amo. Now, if we then come to our possessive pronouns, we see that the word is slightly different. Now we're just keeping the mo part of the word. So, just a quick note, this was mfo, o. So this makes an o sound, mfo, right? This is mo, right? O, right? And that's because of this dot underneath the word, amo, o, right? So bokoromi, ado, ake, mo, right? Or you can say abokoromi, ado, amo, right? So we get rid of this bit and then we put this next to this and we have amo. Now moving on to the third person plural, if we go back to the possessive adjectives, we will see that it's amo, right? Now if you go back to possessive pronouns, what we see is that the word reappears. So abokoromi, ado, ake, amo. Abokoromi, this table is that which is theirs, right? The difference here is that there is no version, there is no amalgamated version, there is no squash version of the words, and I suspect that is because we already have an A here with a high tone, and then we have another A here with a high tone. So if we try to amalgamate these two words together, what we would get is a word that started with two A's with two high tones. So it wouldn't really make sense. So it's just worked out that for the third person plural possessive pronoun, there is only one way to say it, which is ake, amo. So you have to say the long version rather than these amalgamated versions. So welcome to the interesting words of this video. So just a quick note. So in English, right? If you want to go and buy a single orange, you would say, I want to buy an orange. Now, if you want to buy more than one orange, you would say, I want to buy oranges. So apart from the elimination of the article in that sentence, from that first sentence, by the way, efik-ibibio doesn't have articles, the only other change in that sentence is that we are adding an S to the end of the word orange because we're buying more than one orange, i.e. oranges. In efik-ibibio, it's a bit different because most words don't actually change. If we're talking about plural, the actual change is done to the actual verb, right? So rather than modifying the word oranges in efik-ibibio, you would modify the word buy to indicate that you are buying more than one orange, right? So the verb to buy is modified rather than the word orange to indicate that you are buying more than one orange, i.e. oranges. So in efik-ibibio, to buy a singular thing is adidip. Adidip means to buy, right? Now if you want to buy more than one thing, right, this verb is modified. Adi deme, right? Adi deme, and you can see that they are all high tones. Adi deme, right? Adi deme. So you have to be careful here again because of the tones. Now there is another similar word which is deme. Deme means to share. So we have to be very careful when you say this because you can end up saying something completely different. Adi deme is to buy plural. Adi deme is to share something or to share things. So to buy a singular thing is adidep. To buy more than one thing is adideme. So here is some more information on how we would use this, how we would use these words. So like I just said, if you were buying one thing, you would use dip. So in the example I gave, where you were going to buy an orange, you would say in English, I want to buy an orange. In Ibibio, that means nyem adidip, right? Nyem, I want adidip, to buy sukoro, an orange. Nyem, I want adidip, to buy sukoro, an orange. Now if you want to buy oranges, you would say nyem, I want adideme. So nyem, I want adideme, to buy plural sukoro. So nyem adidep sukoro, nyem adideme sukoro, right? And that's the difference. So we actually modify the verb rather than the noun. Now if you were going to buy like two different things or multiple things, right, but you were buying a single item. So for example, you want to buy a book, so you're buying one book and one plate, right? You would say nyem, I want adidip, right? So you would use the singular version. Nyem adidip, I want to buy a book and a plate. So nyem adidip nwed me. So the and is either me or ye. So that's from you can, if you remember when we were learning numbers in series 1, that's the word for and. So you would say nyem adidip nwed me usan, right? So we would use the singular version. Now if we want to buy more than one book and more than one plate, then we would use the plural version, right? Nyem, I want adideme, to buy plural nwed me usan. So if you notice, the ending of the sentence is the same. You would say nwed me usan, nwed me usan. The only difference is which verb we are using. Nyem adidep nwed, nyem adideme nwed, nyem adidep nwed me usan, nyem adideme nwed me usan, right? So things to remember from this episode. So I'm not really sure which is built from which, if possessive pronouns are built from possessive adjectives or it's the other way around. I've only written it this way because that's how I've gone through it in this series 3. But what we need to understand is that there is a relationship between possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives in Ibibio, right? Another thing to remember from this episode is that, like Ibibio possessive adjectives, Ibibio demonstratives come after the noun they describe, right? So just as how this word me, the possessive adjective, comes after the word for noun ufo, in that same vein, the word for this, the demonstrative, comes after the noun abokoro, which is table. So if you can remember those two things from this episode, and also the fact that often in Ibibio, rather than modify the noun to indicate singular or plural, what you would instead do is modify the verb to indicate plurality. So thank you for watching this episode. I hope you learned a thing or two from what we've done. We've done a lot of recapping today, a lot of going back to what we've learned previously, which obviously is a good thing because to use our prior knowledge. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.